Hello, everybody. My name is Simone Carter. I was told to do a testimony of just how good God is, and all I could think of was how God has always been my provider. So I currently am a single mom. I am divorced. I got married when I was really young, and I got divorced when I was really young. And I went through a lot financially, a lot of emotional decisions. I made a lot of emotional decisions. And so it kind of put me in an awkward position. So by the time I was about 23, I was divorced and I went through a lot, just trying to make decisions about finances, about where I would live at. I had a pretty bad credit score, pretty bad situation. But I was a part of a ministry where we believe that God is able to do exceeding abundantly above all we could ever ask or think. And so I said, well, why not put this to practice? Why not really believe what the word of God says? And the Bible also says, I'll supply all of your need according to my riches and glory. So I was like, okay, God, if you're a provider, then I'm going to believe that you are going to provide for me. And at the time, we were living with a friend. It was me. My daughter was about 3 years old at the time. And it's tough living with people when you have a toddler. So I prayed and I asked God to provide for us. I asked him to be Jehovah Jireh, to be our provider, and to show himself mighty and powerful. I would declare the word of God over my life every day. I figured, what do I have to lose? I have nothing. I felt like I had nothing. So I declared the word of God over my life. I had been applying to so many different houses, apartment complexes. I kept getting denied because my credit was bad. It was very discouraging. And I remember hearing God tell me, trust me, trust me. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5 and 6 says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding. In all of your ways, acknowledge him and he will direct your path. And so I acknowledged him. I trusted him. I remember I was at the light in Chesapeake, Virginia, at the light, the corner of Greenbrier Parkway and Battlefield Boulevard. I think that's where I was. Maybe it was Volvo. It was one of those streets where the Golden Corral is. But anyway, I remember I received a phone call, and the week before I had just written down, by faith, I wrote down what I wanted in a house. I wrote down that I wanted, it was going to be a rental property. I wanted it to have a garden in the backyard. I wanted it to have a fireplace. I wanted it to have 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. At the time, I wanted my daughter to have her own bathroom. She was only 3. But I wanted my own bathroom. I wanted, it to have nice paints inside. I wanted to have a window seat in my bedroom upstairs. I was very specific about my house. And I wanted it to be a townhome, which was very interesting. At the time, that's what I had the faith for. And so I got the phone call and I'm like, okay, I don't know what's going to happen. I go to meet the person who called me because they said, okay, we saw that you were interested in this home. So come take a look. And literally, you guys, I had no money. $0. So I get to the house and I'm like, wow, this is 5 minutes away from my job, 5 minutes away from my church, perfect location. Then I was like, well, is he going to deny me? Is he going to allow me to move into his home? Is he going to rent this out to me? So I start walking around the home and he's like, oh, I go to this Christian university and it's the same one that I went to, which was a crazy coincidence. Then he says, oh, I'm a military veteran. And then I was a military veteran. So it was like a connection, God just set it all up. So then he says, the Lord gave me and my wife this home. And so then he's a Christian, which makes it crazier. So I walk around the house. The house has everything that I asked God for. The fireplace, the 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, window seat, garden in the backyard, down to every detail I asked God for was there. It was a townhome. It was in a peaceful neighborhood. I felt safe. It was everything I asked God for the week before. I promise you. So at this point, I was challenging my faith because I'm thinking, is this a scam? Is he going to try to kill me later? No, I don't know. So it just seemed too good to be true. So long story short, the guy gives me the keys to the house. I did not pay. He said I did not have to pay a deposit to move into the house. I did not pay a deposit to move in. He gave me the keys to the house. He said the Lord told him to give me that house for me to move in. He said that he would work with me with my payments because I couldn't really afford it at the time. And it ended up being a great relationship. It ended up where I was able to fix my credit. I was able to make good payments on time. He just was a blessing from God. And so, ever since that happened, I realized there's nothing too hard for God. Literally, God hears us. He loves you. He is a provider. And I have so many other stories like that. But God just continues to be faithful in my life. And I'm so thankful to him. And I don't deserve it. I'm not worthy of it. But praise be to God, who always causes us to triumph.